My best friend Anna set me up for a kidnapping just to grab a spot at Cambridge University. The kidnappers were ruthless. They poisoned my throat until I couldn't speak, severed my Achilles tendons, and kept me in a dark basement for years. Eventually, while trying to escape, I was beaten to death. Then, in a twist of fate, I was reborn to the day before the exam. Anna texted me, "Could you do me a favor?" I quickly blocked her. I woke with a jolt. The driver made a sharp turn, and I slammed against the car door, hitting my head on the window, gasping in pain. When I opened my eyes again, I saw my hometown, a place I'd seen countless times in dreams. I thought it was just a hallucination from being dead. But when I looked down, I was still in my school uniform. No scars on my arm, my feet could still move, and, crucially, I could speak. I tried to call out, and the sound came naturally. My voice, gone for 5 years, was back. I could hardly believe it. I had been reborn. In my past life, Anna betrayed me. She led me to a twisted criminal who made abuse a daily ritual. To keep me from escaping, he severed my tendons and held me captive in a dark basement for years, doing everything in his power to break me. Every time I resisted, the torture got worse. In my last failed attempt, I was beaten to death by the kidnapper. Now I was on the way where he planned to dump my body. But somehow, heaven gave me another chance at life. My phone buzzed. It was Anna. "Carrie, remember to get off at the park's back entrance. I've got a friend waiting there." She wanted me to pick up some study materials. But it was all a trap she had meticulously planned. If I went, within 10 minutes I'd be kidnapped, doomed to a living hell. Coming to my senses, I bottled up the swirling emotions and immediately blocked her. "Driver, please stop here." Once out, I ran home with all my might. In my past life, my parents searched tirelessly, growing gray overnight from worry. Meanwhile, I was stuck in a pitch-dark room, begging the kidnapper for news about them. On a rare day when he was in a good mood, he showed me a video clip of my parents giving a desperate interview. Seeing their heartbroken faces, I collapsed, crying, my heart shattered. That day, annoyed by my crying, he made sure I could never speak again. I later found out that Anna said to him on the phone, "Whatever you want, just make sure she never causes me trouble again." When Mom walked through the door, I was so choked up I couldn't speak, tears streaming uncontrollably. To the world, I was just a high school student who had been away for half a month. But I knew inside that I hadn't felt my mom's warm embrace for 5 years. It felt like a dream. I wish time would stop here forever. Mom thought I was upset because of bullies at school and tried to comfort me. I shook my head. No, nobody's bullying me. In this life, I won't let anyone bully me again. Then why did you come home all of a sudden? Mom had a light bulb moment. I know, you're hungry, right? You've always cried when you didn't eat enough. Before I could stop her, she was already on the phone asking Dad to bring home a fish. Soon, Dad came in, holding a fish in one hand and keys in the other, staring blankly at me at the entrance. "You should have told me earlier that she was back. How is one fish going to be enough?" Before I had a chance to reply, he was already off to the market, returning with half a chicken. So the table was set with my favorite garlic greens, pan-fried red fish, and black chicken soup. If I hadn't come back, my parents would be eating just vegetables and porridge. I wrinkled my nose, pushing down the surge of emotion. Mom served me a bowl of soup. "Where's Anna? Didn't she come with you? Invite her over to eat with us." A chill ran through me. Anna. That same Anna who was supposed to be my best friend, but was also behind my hellish betrayal. I only got to know Anna in high school. She lived in an affluent neighborhood across the road, while I lived in the more humble area. Whenever we had something good to eat, my parents never failed to send some to Anna, treating her like one of their own. And this person, who received so much love from my family, plotted such a horrific conspiracy against me behind our backs. On the day I was kidnapped, I clung to the criminal's leg, begging for mercy. But he kicked me hard in the stomach and spat in my face. That Anna gave you to me for a Cambridge recommendation. I care for you, feed you, you think I'm doing this for free? That's when I realized everything was Anna's trap. And even when I was abducted in her place, stupidly, I thought, thank goodness it's me, not Anna. She can't handle the pain as well as I can. Maybe help will come. Truly, selling yourself short and counting your blessings was such naive. All the genuine care in the world fed to the dogs. My dad put some fish on my plate. I didn't cook much rice. If Anna comes, you too can eat, we'll find something outside. I politely declined, focusing on my meal. The following day was the recommendation exam. When Anna turned the corner and saw me, she went pale, her legs almost buckling. She grabbed the railing, pinching herself to check if she was awake. You, Carrie? How are you here? I walked toward her, saying nothing, locking her in an abandoned bathroom stall. Anna pleaded, baffled at how I'd shifted to a new person overnight, banging on the door. She said, Carrie, let me out. Yesterday was a misunderstanding. I'll explain later, let's just get to the exam first, okay? I fastened the lock. Sure. She sighed in relief. Then hurry, let me out, we'll go to the exam together. I corrected her, it's me going to the exam. You, Anna, stay put here. What did you say? Carrie. Are you crazy? Let me out. She frantically banged on the door, and I could imagine her angry face behind it. In my previous life, I had never gone against her. I helped with whatever she needed without hesitation. It took a betrayal in life to realize. Anna only saw me as a stepping stone on her path to success. We had similar grades, often alternating between first in the class, but this year there was only one recommendation spot. To secure her future at Cambridge, she planned to eliminate me before the exam. Even though I was her dear friend Carrie and a living, breathing human being, none of that mattered against her bright future. I kicked the metal gate with all my might, and the noise rang loud. Inside, it fell silent. I started speaking slowly, Anna, don't think I don't know about your little stunt last night where you tried to have me kidnapped. I'm just giving you a taste of your own medicine. Carrie. So what? I did try to have you kidnapped, but it didn't work, did it? You're still standing, aren't you? Listen to her, acting all righteous about it. Seems like she thinks she's always right and whatever she does should be accepted. Anna started throwing things at me. Carrie, let me out. Or else you're dead. I took a few steps back, guessing her face turned dark, but I didn't feel like dealing with her nonsense anymore. Anna, just wait, you're not taking that exam. As soon as I said that, the exam bell rang. I hid the only key in my pencil case and strolled into the exam hall. Just as I expected. Missing the exam made Anna furious. Soon enough, she started spreading rumors about me being the topic of discussion at school. People were saying I cheated on the exam. The stakes were high with the recommended exam, and everyone was fired up. Egged on by Anna, a group marched into the office with a petition full of signatures. She didn't even bother hiding it anymore. The hatred in her eyes was clear. Anna slammed the petition on the desk, explaining her case. Teacher, we think Carrie knew the exam questions beforehand and possibly leaked them to others. We all request a retake. Yeah. Retake the test. Cheaters shouldn't get the spot. Doesn't the school stand for fairness? Give us a fair explanation. With the growing complaints, the teacher was visibly uncomfortable and eventually threw the grade sheet on the desk. Quiet. He shouted, then cleared his throat. Evidence? You say Carrie cheated, so where's the proof? Of course, they had no proof. After exchanging glances, they all turned to Anna. Anna wasn't scared one bit. She knew the school's security system had just been revamped recently. At a time like this, whatever she said could be taken as truth. But the teacher didn't wait for her and pointed to the circled scores on the sheet, berating me first. If Carrie cheated, why did she only score 458 out of 650? Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. The room buzzed at his words. The teacher cast me a disappointed glare. Only then did everyone notice me standing there, having already been dragged in for a scolding. Life could start over, but your memories didn't change. I'd long forgotten those study points, and that score was the best I could do under the circumstances. Anna hadn't expected me to not get the spot and stood there dumbfounded. The students who had rallied behind her were stunned too. Dead silence stretched out for several seconds. Until someone pointed out, so without Carrie and Anna, we're more likely to win the awards, right? In no time, the crowd dispersed quickly and completely. According to the school's rules, though you might not get the top spot, the top 20 still got consolation prizes, and they weren't small. Everyone was happy with less competition. I came out from my corner. First, I apologized to the teacher who had high hopes for me. Then I turned to Anna, gave her a long, mocking smile. Anna was fuming. But knowing her, this wasn't over yet. My hunch was confirmed right after gym class that afternoon. Anna called me out in front of everyone, accusing me of stealing her watch. She even threatened to search my bag. I went ahead and dumped the contents of my bag out myself. Sure enough, there was the watch she had planted. As she bent down to pick it up, I yelled, "Don't move," almost making her lose her balance. "What the heck?" I replied as if it was obvious, "We're calling the cops, of course. Isn't it common sense to report lost items to the police? You said I stole it? Then leave it there, wait for the police to check the fingerprints. If it proves I'm guilty, do whatever you want with me." This time Anna was the one intimidated. She held her breath, her face turning red. After holding back, she grabbed the watch and quickly dashed to the podium. I watched her with my arms crossed. "So, you're admitting you cried wolf?" Following my lead, everyone gave her a complex set of looks. The ego at 17 or 18 is intense. Being pampered all her life, she'd never been under such scrutiny before. So, Anna went berserk, hysterically yelling, "So what if I did? Carrie, if you hadn't locked me in the bathroom, stopping me from taking the exam, I wouldn't be driven to this." In the next second, everyone's eyes turned back to me. I didn't retaliate, wasn't in a rush to explain. Anna connected her phone to the podium's computer, played an audio clip. It captured my voice admitting to locking her in. The volume was just right, but clear enough for everyone to hear. Some students familiar with my voice realized it was me and started whispering among themselves. Anna raised her chin, confident in her victory. If she had this audio clip, why didn't she just use it earlier to request a retake with the teacher? There's only one answer. She knew she alone couldn't sway the teacher, hence she rallied more students. I chuckled, she really went through a lot for a spot. The teacher materialized out of nowhere, listened to the clip, and gave me a look of disbelief. "All of you, back to your seats. We're nearing college entrance exams, why are you causing trouble? Carrie. Anna. You two, follow me to the office." His shout made Anna's smug grin flicker away. Pretending to be pitiful, she drawled, "All right, teacher." But I stood my ground. Anna wouldn't expect this. I recorded the conversation that day too. "Teacher, Anna only revealed part of the truth. To clear my name, I think I have the right to do the same and show the real story." The classmates eagerly waited. The teacher thought for a moment, then nodded quietly. The only one showing a horrified expression was Anna. Before the clip even finished, just catching the part where she admitted trying to have me kidnapped, she couldn't hold her face anymore and tried to run. The front door was blocked by the sports committee, and the back door slammed shut by another student. All eyes locked on her like a wall, trapping her in place. She stood frozen, trembling with fear. For a moment, the entire room was silent. I scrolled through my phone and pulled up the chat history, showing the address she sent me that night as evidence. Seeing the cutesy nickname I hadn't changed yet, I let out a self-deprecating laugh. For the past couple of years, my memories of Anna have been filled with us being inseparable. From big life plans to picking flavors of chips, we always shared everything with each other. Her face was always so relaxed, often laughing out loud because of me. But I never thought she had set up a trap to destroy me long ago, without me noticing. In my past life, the kidnappers were actually her uncle. I found out later that her family had always hidden away a violent and unstable uncle. He couldn't find a wife and got ideas when he saw me. During everything that happened, Anna just watched without stopping it. It's easy to measure 10 feet deep of river, but people's hearts are hard to predict. In the end, we sorted it out with both sides writing a 3,000-word reflection as the final deal. Considering how serious it was, the teacher originally wanted to call our parents in. Anna cried her heart out, tears covering her face, begging, so the teacher lightened things up. Yet, the teacher's kindness didn't stop her from targeting me. I took leave and went home. My parents didn't expect me there, looked gloomy when they came in but perked up seeing me. Dad urgently asked, "Daughter, why are you home all of a sudden?" Mom was puzzled too. "Is school out? Are you not feeling well or something?" I quickly denied it, asking back, "Dad, Mom, how's the shop doing recently?" They both paused, exchanging glances. Dad brushed it off soon, "Nothing to worry about. You know Anna's mom, the old neighbor. They won't trouble us, especially with you and Anna." "Dad." I interrupted him. Dad always puts his hands on his hips when he lies, and he just did it. I sighed, "I have something to tell you. Anna's well-off family controls the shops nearby. Her mom, being a housewife, spends her time collecting rent from stores. My parents run a small diner behind this street, with Anna's mom as the landlord. I worried Anna would push my parents to give up the lease, which she indeed tried. I kept the rebirth secret and told them the whole story and about Anna's failed kidnapping plot. Hearing it all, Mom and Dad were furious. They were ready to demand answers. They couldn't believe such a thing would blow up like that for school scores. I calmed them down, focusing on solving their job issue first. In my past life, I couldn't gather many useful details. I was kept in an isolated basement, losing track of day and night, let alone economic trends. But I knew for sure that a pandemic would break out a year later. Dad, pondering, recalled, an old friend talked about partnering in making masks, buying a machine to produce them, and selling them online. I quickly agreed, "That sounds great, Dad. If you're interested, go for it. I'm with you." Mom ran the numbers and thought it was worth trying. That would release us from Anna's rental chains. Now, I could face Anna head-on. Surprisingly, Anna was more desperate than me. After that drama, everyone knew our close sisterhood ended, split over a guaranteed admission spot, leading to mutual damage. So, she stopped hiding, going all out instead. In class, she openly mocked my wrong answers. Off class, she'd spill secrets only she and I knew. Those endless weaknesses I shared with her turned into weapons against me. But my heart had grown strong through past life's torment. Nothing she did could affect me now. Her tactics only backfired, damaging her image. That day, a classmate finally snapped, "Anna, cut it out, will you? Some of us want to learn even if you don't. If you're bored, just go home. No one wants your life story here." I couldn't help but chuckle. Anna, mocking me for being so dumb, got called out. She stormed out angrily, slamming the desk. Moments later, she returned, and a furious teacher followed. The teacher scolded me directly, "Carrie, with the college entrance exam so near, how can you think of signing up for the school's singing competition? I'm so disappointed in you." Half an hour later, I found my entry form in the club management's folder. No need to guess, Anna had signed me up pretending to be me. She knew I had no singing talent, hoping I'd embarrass myself. And she was aware that with my grades dropping, I needed study time, trying to mess up my study plans. What a well-played trick. so I decided to play along. On stage, I spotted Anna in the audience, looking all smug, chin practically in the sky. She couldn't wait to see me make a fool of myself. Neither could I. I didn't sing, but called out her name on stage. I said I had a carefully prepared gift for my best Anna. The big screen lit up with a video I edited all night. It revealed all our explosive chat history since meeting. It started with some of our photos, then her solo shots, moving to embarrassing ones, and finally her venomous words cursing others. The background music began softly, they thought it was about sisterly love, until it stopped abruptly, switching to the recent audio clip of her admitting to framing me. That's when everyone realized. I even provided subtitles, creating a scene that destroyed her reputation. If she aimed to attack my weaknesses, I could too. Thanks to her lack of a filter, there was plenty to criticize. What I showed was just the tip of the iceberg, barely scratched the surface. In my past life, though I saw through her two-faced nature, I believed she'd never be that way with me. I learned there are no exceptions with people like her. Anna vanished from her seat long before. I was careless, only felt the pain shoot through my back when she jumped at me. She yanked my hair, kicked at my calf violently. I lost control and fell forward, hair strands snapped, and my scalp felt as if 1,000 needles were pricking it. Anger surged instantly. Fueled by anger, I turned and ran towards her. Some classmates in the front row saw what was happening and jumped onto the stage to stop us. A group held me back, while another held her back. Anna tried to break free and hit me several times, her eyes more fierce than a hungry wolf's. It wasn't until the teacher got in front of her and shouted for her to stop that she regained a shred of sanity. The school couldn't ignore our ongoing feud any longer and decided to call our parents this Friday after exams. For some reason, Anna seemed terrified of calling her parents. When she heard this, she shook all over and dropped to her knees, pleading. The teachers in the office were put in a tough spot by her begging. They didn't know whether to call or not call. In the end, they even asked for my opinion. I didn't want to worry my parents, so I hoped they'd drop the punishment too. The teacher hesitated, then said, "All right, just focus on your exams, and we'll reconsider based on your scores." After studying hard for a while, I'd managed to catch up on most of the material. But honestly, I had no idea what my actual scores would be. In my past life, I could just about make it to Cambridge if I tried. In this life, I just hoped the difference wasn't too big. I wanted to make sure my parents weren't too disappointed. During the math test, while drawing auxiliary lines in geometry, I took out an eraser that was a bit worn down. Gripping it with my thumb and index finger, I scraped back and forth. A sharp blade slipped in at the wrong time, cutting into my skin. Blood gushed from the edge of the cut, bright red droplets staining my paper. I lifted my left hand and pulled out the blade. The wound was deep, the flesh slightly torn. While everyone else stayed focused on their work, only Anna shot me a nasty smile. Like a foul, poisonous snake, she radiated coldness. Her inherent vileness seeped into my bones. Every stroke I wrote after that was painful, filled with my endless hatred for Anna. After the exams, our parents were still called in. Not because of poor scores, but because our test papers were odd. My math sheet was bloodied, and Anna's physics paper had even more bloodstains. Living another life, there was no way I'd let her have the upper hand again. The teacher reviewed the freshly repaired security footage, 360-degree, high def, no blind spots, and saw our sneaky moves. This time, not calling our parents was out of the question. It had escalated to a severe safety issue. Before things settled, I snuck to the office. The teacher was about to call Anna's mom when I hurriedly stopped her. She was just like her mom, united in their hostility against everyone. If her mom showed up, only the teacher would get yelled at. But if her dad came, it'd be different. The teacher was skeptical but agreed to my suggestion. Maybe to balance things out, she also called my dad. When the two dads met again, the friendly neighborly vibe was gone. My dad got angry just seeing Anna's family, burning with unspoken rage he was ready to unleash. Anna's dad was mad too, but his anger was directed at Anna. He raised his hand and slapped Anna hard right in front of everyone. She stumbled, stars dancing in her vision. Covering her face, her eyes filled with tears, she held them back to avoid crying. The teacher was anxious, pleading to stop hitting the child. Anna's dad didn't listen and hit even harder. My dad and I weren't surprised at all. This wasn't the first time we witnessed Anna getting hit by him. Anna's dad had a successful career, valued his reputation, and often had unrealistically high expectations for Anna. When she suffered, she'd come to my house for comfort. Eventually, my parents learned a bit about her situation. We felt sorry for her, always looking out for her, sometimes even trying to shield her from her dad. But now, we watched coldly. I'll never forget Anna telling her uncle, "Their whole family is full of fools, powerless and insignificant. If they die, no one will know. I'll have my mom handle it." This, all of it, is what Anna deserves. She's the one who should be beaten to death. Anna's dad was about to stop when I showed him the bandage on my finger, provoking him to kick her a few more times. Finally, when we exited the office, we stood on opposite sides. Her dad gave me a dark look, revealing his true self. He accused me of being a conniving little snake. My dad immediately started arguing with him. I held my dad back because Anna's dad wasn't wrong. I did mess with things behind the scenes. I anonymously sent the publicly shown video from that day to Anna's dad's company, where employees recognized it as Anna's handiwork. Overnight, Anna's dad's reputation crashed. Everyone gossiped about his poor parenting and volatile temper. Fame made and broke him. His daughter's antics brought him so much trouble, he was seething. That's why he rushed to school, using Anna as an outlet for his frustration. With their company's resources, finding out the video uploader wouldn't be hard, especially since I never hid. So Anna's dad eventually figured out my plan but was too angry not to fall into my trap. He might think he's just disciplining his child, that it won't affect everything he owns. But others didn't see it that way. A classmate secretly recorded the incident and posted it online, sparking their company's biggest PR crisis ever. Everything was progressing smoothly. I enjoyed the fruits of my victory, filled with joy. A few days later, Anna was expelled, her dad embarrassed and transferred her before the formal announcement. Typical of their family. After packing, Anna coldly asked me, "Are you happy seeing me like this?" She had lost her arrogance, her hair was messy, clothes wrinkled, her packed things filthy. I stepped back, avoiding any dirty air. As for her question, yes, I'm definitely happy. Anna got publicly beaten, her dad's company faced a PR storm, Anna was forced out of school, it was all my carefully laid plan. Now everything was achieved. Why wouldn't I be satisfied? What I want is for this group to never appear in my life again, preferably living a life worse than death, just like my past life filled with endless suffering. Unfortunately, Anna never got my answer because I didn't think she was worth even a single word from me. I'm not sure if ignoring her ticked her off. The next time we met, she came at me like she was possessed. She was out for blood. The night before our college entrance exams, after the bell for evening self-study rang, I, like many others, walked back to the dorm with a mix of nervousness and melancholy. The dorms were off campus, across a street, with a sky bridge connecting them. Below, cars zoomed by, lights cutting through the night. No honking, just silence. The closer the exams got, the quieter the area seemed. Once our crowd passed, the stillness returned. But then Anna showed up, shaking up the peace. She leaned on the railing with one hand, blocking me with the other. Said she wanted to catch up. Only an idiot would buy that. I turned to walk away without thinking. She stopped me again, her face suddenly full of tears, begging me to hear her out, claiming she'd changed. I didn't drop my guard. When she dragged me to the rail, I was ready. As soon as I found my footing, she'd be on me, trying to push me over. I stepped aside quickly. She lost her balance with no resistance, tripped over the low rail, and fell. A stream of headlights from below flashed by like arrows. The sound of a body hitting asphalt followed by screeching brakes filled the air. It happened in less than a second, but it felt like ages to my senses. The noise of a crowd woke me. I gripped the railing tight, peeked over, only to see a bloody mess in the dark. Eventually, the ambulance and cops arrived. Anna got on a stretcher, I got in the police car. A nurse came running, knocked on the door, saying Anna wanted me and the cops there. Anna held my hand in a death grip, spitting blood as she said, "Officer, it was her. She pushed me. Carrie tried to kill me." I was stunned. Even staring death in the face, she couldn't shut up. Lucky for me, the Sky Bridge had night vision cameras capturing everything clearly. By the time I explained everything to the cops, it was late. Heading back to the dorm would disturb the roommates, going home would freak out my folks. So, I crashed at the station. Never thought I'd spend the night before my college entrance exams like that. I'm usually pretty chill. Maybe it's because I went through hell in a past life or something, that bit of drama faded away fast. Then came the test with all its stress, the cooling mist outside, sweating forehead, gravely serious instructions, and the dense carbon marks on my answer sheet. The big day finally crawled by. Given the timing of the exams, the school and cops wanted to wait to announce the bridge incident. But those nosy media types couldn't wait. They somehow pinpointed me in the crowd leaving the exam hall, yanked me in front of a camera, and bluntly asked, "Carrie, did you push Anna off the bridge the other night?" What kind of question is that? Did they learn to lie with a straight face from Anna? "Carrie. We're here." My folks' voices came in loud and clear off camera. I turned to find them. My dad swooped in like Superman, blocking the camera with one hand and shoving me towards my mom with the other. Mom grabbed my hand, and we ran against the human tide. My dad trailed behind, body blocking the media, shielding my face from their lenses. "Dad, Mom, I'm done with my exams." I shouted, excited, but they just bundled me into a car with worry. We didn't own a car, so I figured Dad borrowed it from a friend to pick me up. He had driven for ride share at one point, so he handled it pretty smoothly. I strapped in, ready to head home, but they weren't moving. "What's up?" I asked. Mom suddenly broke down, slid into the back with me, hugged me tight, and cried. "Carrie, don't be afraid. The police will find out the truth. Never thought Anna would be so vicious. We should have picked you up sooner." Dad sighed, eyes red, "Anna's taking things too far. No way will heaven let them get away with smearing our daughter." I looked at them, feeling so warm inside. Parents are like that. They'll stand by you, protecting you, even if the whole world falls apart. Then there was my class, standing up for me. They wrote a statement proving my innocence, all signing it in unison. They said they already saw through Anna's game and that she deserved whatever happened. It was nothing to do with me. The letter exploded online, sparking all sorts of debates. Police announcements followed. In no time, Anna's family company tumbled, stocks plunged, and they got hit with tax evasion charges. Meanwhile, I aced 2 school offers even before my entrance exam results dropped. Mom and Dad let me pick, and I chose Cambridge in the end. After deciding on my major, I visited Anna in the hospital. Heard her lower body was shattered, a near impossible fix. She'd likely be stuck with limited mobility for life. Her upper body was a mess of internal bleeding, her head also took a hit. Before I went in, I overheard her parents screaming insults at her. Real nasty stuff. She didn't even talk back. Sneaking past them, I saw her swollen face. She looked like she'd been in a brawl. Most of her was wrapped up like a bitter mummy. Sight of me brought a flicker of surprise in her eyes, but soon enough, she was back to her old bossy self. "What do you want?" she rasps. At least her voice wasn't wrecked like mine was once. I shrugged. Just witnessing my victory. Her face flushed dark in anger. Would have been my bad luck if that set off something to pin on me. With that thought, I turned to go. But she stopped me. Carrie, do you know why I wanted that scholarship so badly? I paused. Anna looked out the window. All my life, my mom and I feared my dad. If he was mad, someone got hurt. Mom pushed me to him, saving herself and pretending to comfort me later. I thought parents were the worst, raising me just to torture me. Being their slave. Until I met you. You have great parents, with a great bond. It's like a fairy tale family. The better you have it, the angrier I got, asking why me? Why did you get blessed with good parents, and I didn't? If I didn't get into Cambridge, my dad would have disowned me. Anna got so worked up she started coughing. After calming down, she continued, so Carrie, I'll admit it, I'm jealous of you. I can't stand how everything goes smoother for you. You didn't even go to tutoring, and still, your grades are as good as mine. You're adored by everyone naturally, and I got nothing. At least, let me take that recommendation from you, ruin your life by sending you to my insane uncle, and then we'll be even. I paused. That's the reason? Her face went pale again, staring weakly at me. Not answering was already the closest thing to the truth. I calmly said, Anna, you got one thing wrong. You didn't end up with nothing. The day you kidnapped me, I ran home, and my parents made soup for me. While drinking it, they even said, let's invite Anna over to our house for dinner. As I finished saying this, I noticed Anna startled. Her eyes filled with mixed emotions, and tears welled up instantly. Maybe she understood what I meant. She was indeed unfortunate, but she wasn't always left with nothing. Our family truly treated her like one of us, giving her the best care. But instead of cherishing it, she turned against us, destroying the warmth she craved with her own hands. Before I left, Anna called out to me again. She cried her heart out, desperately begging for forgiveness, recalling all the memories together to stir my sympathy. I couldn't be bothered. I just shut the door and walked away. I'm not the type to forget the pain once the wound heals. I'm petty. I don't need her repentance, I just wish her a long life. One entangled with illness and resentment.